There's a big surprise coming to Star Wars Celebration.
Plus, we find out what's inside of a droid.
Ew.
It's Jell-O, it's a Jell-O mold.
This week on the Star Wars Show, Anthony sits down with WWE's Xavier Woods. We check out the droids of Rogue One and much, much more. Now, from the Lucasfilm headquarters, it's the Star Wars Show.
Hello, I'm Andy Gutierrez.
And I'm Anthony Carboni, and today's episode is an incredible special effects extravaganza.
Do I have lasers coming out?
Who knows?
Ha, that's fun.
Probably should have had ILM do this instead of Frank.
Yeah.
No shade to Frank. Anyway, let's go to the news. Starting things off with a little Star Wars Celebration news, Star Wars Rebels will once again be appearing at the event with a cannot miss panel.
The fun begins on Saturday morning when Dave Filoni and his mysterious panel of guests take the stage to preview the epic 4th season of Rebels. And if past Rebels panels are any indication, you will not want to miss this one. They are always a blast.
For more information, check out StarWarsCelebration.com.
Also announced this week, Kotobukiya will be bringing the very first 000 and BT-1 figures from the Marvel Darth Vader comic book series as Star Wars Celebration exclusives. The figures come with an illustration card with art by Adi Granov, as well as a collectible coin. These join the R4-M9, R2-X2, and R5-D4 Celebration exclusive figures, also available this year at their booth. For more details, check out KotoUS.com.
Star Wars Galactic Nights will be taking place during the same weekend as Star Wars Celebration in Orlando, and wouldn't you know it, Disney's Hollywood Studios in Orlando has a lot in store for fans.
The event features live performances, photo ops, and interactive Star Wars projections, a Seize the Saga scavenger hunt, and a behind-the-scenes look at Rogue One hosted by Vanessa Marshall, the voice of Hera from Star Wars Rebels.
Plus, and this is very exciting for me, BB-8 will be making his Disney Parks character greeting debut during the event.
Are you gonna keep it cool this time?
I'm gonna keep it so cool. I'm gonna be totally fine. I am actually sweating a little bit right now, just talking about it. For more details and tickets, check out this link.
Finally, we've had a lot of fun watching Pablo on the set of Rogue One for the past couple of weeks, but like all good things, his segment must come to an end.
This week we bid a fond farewell to the Rogue Reports with a look at the most important characters in any Star Wars films, the droids. Enjoy.
While we're back here between takes, figured I'd take a closer look at something cool that we found over here, 21B. They've machined him again from scratch, but you can really see that they got the details very exactingly. One thing though I want to point out, which is pretty exciting for all old school Star Wars fans, is that 21B back in the original trilogy never had any feet. He was never meant to be seen from the waist down, but what they've done here is they've recreated the original Kenner design of 21B's feet. Finally, after all this time, 21B is whole. So just like with The Force Awakens, the production crew enlisted the help and support of local R2 builders to fill out the ranks of the astromechs. In order to get the most versatility out of these droids, they've been swapping parts, mixing and matching, creating new droids. Today I'm joined with Brad Oakley, R2 builder, and his special guest is here with us. Brad, tell me, who are we looking at here? What are we looking at?
This is currently R3 BHD. Normally he'd be R2 BHD with a silver dome, but today we swapped it out for the clear dome, so he's an R3.
And today it seems to be a very busy day on the Yavin set. How do you control this guy and make sure he doesn't go anywhere he's not supposed to?
What we've done so far is they've done a dry run, and we've picked a route that's not going to get in too many people's ways.
So what's it like now being here?
Surreal, I think, is the right word for it. To recreate a prop that becomes a prop is better than any dream I could have made for it, really.
So we're talking today with Kieran Shaw and Artie Shaw. We've seen Kieran's face a number of times in a number of movies. Were you in Return of the Jedi, is that right?
Yes, I did the stunts for most of the Ewoks.
So you were at Stunt Ewok.
Yeah.
And now both of you are playing power droids. How does that compare to some of the other roles you've played?
So the power droid is quite heavy, so when you're working in the droid, you're actually moving it so slowly, even though like we walk quite fast.
Yeah.
And they're like, come on, hurry up. Yeah, we're trying.
With the roles you often play, you completely disappear and bring in a fantastic character to life. So I'm glad we're able to show you on camera for everyone to see who you guys are.
The captain says you are a friend. I will not kill you.
I've got Austin Creed here with me from Up, Up, Down, Down, aka Xavier Woods.
Yes, sir.
You know, one of the things that I love about you, what I love about like the New Day, is you guys just celebrate your fandom and wear your fandom on your sleeve so much.
As much as humanly possible.
As much as humanly possible. Like, why was that such a huge decision for you guys?
There are kids who are into that don't necessarily have the role models or people in those positions, like on television or in movies, that tell them it's okay to like this stuff. Like, you will be just fine growing up as an adult. Because, you know, when we were kids, it wasn't cool.
Yeah.
So essentially, Up, Up, Down, Down, I kind of want to use that as a platform to show this generation of adults who are now having kids that might not have been into video games, that think, oh, video games are going to milk your brain, they're going to fry you, and they're no good for you. Like, they're a very good social conduit. It's a viable source for fun, for entertainment, and for jobs, too. So that's kind of the grand scale of what I'm trying to do with Up, Up, Down, Down, and kind of push that message in certain different ways as we go along.
Kids are growing up and they're learning that, like, hey, it's great to have these fandoms and to be involved in them. And obviously a new generation is getting introduced to Star Wars and Star Wars video games. So I wanted to ask you what some of your favorite Star Wars games were.
So I have to go back to the old school, like, arcade Star Wars, where you're like moving left and right, not to hit the pillars and everything.
Yes.
Because while it is a super basic old school game, like, to me, that's the most fun Star Wars game.
There was also nothing else like it. Just like the vector graphics and the feeling of 3D. This is just like the two oldest dudes in the world. This is like two grandpas right now talking about walking uphill both ways to the factory. But you can't understand
so good.
what it was like to really see simulated 3D in a game for the first time.
But
so
even
wonderful.
with like the Vive and all that stuff, like being able to go back and play this game and still feel immersed in 3D, like so ahead of its time.
Yeah.
It's absolutely unreal.
Well, there's something about the vector graphics that fit with the overall art direction of the Star Wars universe anyway. It just felt like looking at a targeting computer or something, or like you were sitting in a pod.
I'm really a pilot. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing.
So that was your favorite one as a kid. Let's talk about right now. If you're going to sit down and play a Star Wars game, what are you playing?
I'd be Battlefront.
Yeah.
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 It feels good, especially the fact that like you can be like in these maps and there's these specific things happening from the movie. Again, you feel immersed, and it's like the AT-ATs walking around like, it's all these things that I've wanted, and now I can play them online with people, and I can like trash talk while I do it. It warms my heart.
Austin, if people want to watch you and your friends playing these games, where are they going?
They go to Up, Up, Down, Down on YouTube, or they can check us out on Twitter, my Twitter, at Xavier Woods PhD, or the channel Twitter, at Up, Up, Down, Down without the O's.
Well, Austin, thank you so much for coming by, man. Good seeing you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You know, I don't think I ever could have predicted that Star Wars fans really enjoy Star Wars special effects.
Shocking, right? Like, Cobalt CR3A agreed with Diego Luna and said that the Jabba puppet was the best. Bill Murdon went with this iconic shot from Jedi. Smee Dangler on Twitter said, as a compositing grad student, the cameos of Golden Red Leader in Rogue One was epic. And our own cheeky Justin Bolger said, Ian McDermott's smile.
This week, we want to know who your favorite Rebels character of all
Goody.
time is
Scooty.
And why.
Scooty, for obvious reasons.
Huh. I would have thought you would go with like Hera or Chopper.
Nope. Goody.
Chopper loves you.
Nope, Goody.
Mine is probably Hondo.
Yeah.
I like a smooth talking con man.
Kind of
for
look
sure.
like him.
Wow.
That was mean, I'm sorry.
How dare you, madam?
Let us know your favorites and why using the hashtag RagRebels, and we'll feature our favorites here next week.
Thought we were friends. Thanks for watching, and may the force be with you. You betrayed me.
I'm sorry. You set it up. You set it up right, just so perfectly. He's got goggles, you have glasses. It's a thing. I don't know.
You did fine, Frank.
Gold star.